All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? It's Friday, July 16th, 2021. This morning is episode number 365. We're going to talk about the biggest asset in the world. It's this thing inside of your head. Your brain is the biggest asset you got in the world. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the benefits of working on it, exactly how to do that, and much, much more. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening, guys? Good morning to you and happy Friday, man. It's good to be here with you guys. I got a lot of stuff done already this morning, and I am ready to crush this Friday. Hopefully you guys are too. I'm going to get this started here. Let's talk about the brain today. Let's talk about how your brain is your biggest asset. And I think that, as I interact with a lot of people, on a day-to-day basis, one of the things that I think is really underutilized, really undervalued probably, is the concept of what happens when you actually work on yourself, when you work on your brain, when you take time for yourself, when you think about, what exactly is it that I need to be doing to get better? And I think that, we all, kind of get stuck in these patterns of like, well, I don't have enough time. Well, I don't have enough this. Well, I don't have enough that. And the reality of it is, guys, is that, nothing is going to come easy. Like, it's not going to be something that you just naturally are able to do working on yourself. It's not going to be easy for you to get to a point where you can actually feel the momentum of investing into yourself by taking time, putting that time into reading, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos that are beneficial for you. It takes time. It takes an extended commitment, right? Loyalty in a singular direction for a long period of time is what it takes to be able to actually make an impact on, in my opinion, the most valuable thing you have in the world, which is your brain, right? Your brain and your body are really everything. I just heard this week, but, they say, people that are really successful, have a lot of money, have a lot of things. If you go to a hospital that's full of people that have a lot of money, there's only one thing that they want, and that is their health, right? That is their well-being, their health. They want to be healthy. They want to be able to live. And, that made me think about, just what it means to be able to have the ability to improve your brain, right? To improve your skills, to improve what you're capable of doing. And I think that, so many people literally just go through life not realizing, what it actually takes to be able to work on that. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning. I want to say good morning to everybody this morning. Daniel Good, what's happening, man? Rick, Tammy, David Martin, Dayton Packard. Good morning, guys. Thank you guys for being here. No question, Rick, excuses will stall your improvement. It definitely takes work. It takes a massive commitment. What's happening, Jared Berg? Good morning to you, man. It takes a massive commitment and a lot of loyalty and a lot of discipline to be able to improve yourself, to be able to really see a difference in your brain, in what you're doing every single day. And I think it's very important for everybody to realize what that creates. So when I think about, for me personally, this journey that I've been on of, call it self-development, call it trying to get better, whatever it is that you want to label it as. But, for the last probably, I would say 7 or 8 years, confidently, it might have been a little bit longer than that. But for the last 7 or 8 years, I've really been, working on knowledge and skills and how I can do things and how I can learn more and how I can get better in different areas of my life. And, it's a long journey, right? If I look back and, I just had a post the other day that I put out that said, look 10 years ahead and work backwards. And that post was from 6 years ago. And, what I said to my wife when I read that post was like, man, it's pretty crazy. Like how many things I actually probably exceeded what I would have thought was possible, 6 years ago, right? In 2015, when I posted that, I wouldn't have thought that half the things that I've actually accomplished were possible. And so I asked myself, like, how did that happen? And I want to tell you guys very clearly that one of the things that I did consistently was I was always seeking out knowledge. I was always trying to learn from people. I was always trying to work on this muscle that is the brain in your head, right? Work on that thing that's inside your head as often as possible, guys, because it is the biggest asset that you have. And so there's knowledge is one side, I believe, of what you can work on with your brain. But probably equal to or more important than that is learning how to control that thing in your head, right? Learning how to control your thoughts, learning how to control your brain. And if somebody would have said that to me probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I'm not sure that I would have understood what that meant. But now today, I can coach people on how to do that. I can tell you exactly how to rewire that part of your life, right? Where your brain actually does what you tell it to do instead of drifting all the time. I was just talking about this yesterday morning, right? It was about, fear and the idea of fear and what it does for you. Well, that is something that when you work on your mental discipline, when you actually work on controlling your thoughts and putting better thoughts in your brain, and surrounding yourself with people that do the same, it's unbelievable how the brain changes and how your thoughts change as a result of that and how your life ends up changing as a result of all of that, right? And so when you think about how much work you're actually putting in to improving that part of your life, to actually improving your brain, improving your knowledge, your skills, your mental discipline, and your discipline in general, because your brain guides all of that, answer that question to yourself. How much work are you actually putting in? And the biggest disappointment for me when I look at, people out there in the world, I see so many people that are incredibly talented, incredibly gifted. They have amazing things that they have to offer the world, but they don't really pay attention to what's going on. They don't really put in the work. And so for me, I am currently working on literally freeing up more of my time so that I can do more of this, right? So that I can read more, so that I can be more intentional with my time, so that I can interview people that I can learn from and interact with. And so I want you guys to actually answer that question to yourselves today, is how much time do you actually put into advancing your brain, advancing what it is that you know? Are you really trying to improve your knowledge? Are you really trying to improve your skills? And if you are, great. How can you do more of it, right? How can you get to that point? And it's about seeking out different information. For me, certain podcasts did a lot of good for me 3, 4, 5 years ago. I have since changed the podcast that I listened to as a result of, I felt like I got a lot out of that, but maybe there was somewhere else that I could invest my time. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's listening to audiobooks. It's listening to different topics, right? One of the books that I'm currently reading right now is called Corporate Life Cycles. And that is a book that has taught me a lot, but I am constantly very aware of where I'm spending my time. It doesn't mean that I get it right all the time, but where I spend my time to try to get better is really important, right? And how I free up more of that time is also very important, because what I take away is going to have an impact as well. But just remember, guys, the biggest asset that you have is your brain. It's the thing inside your head. It's your thoughts. Everything starts right there. So I want you to realize this morning, going into this Friday, how valuable the work is that you put in on your brain, on your thoughts, on the knowledge that you have, the skills that you develop, on all of those things that are connected to the work that you do on your brain. And so everybody, has a very, it's very visual, right? The work that we put in or don't put in on our bodies. But when it comes to our brain, it's a little bit harder to see, right? Have you ever had a conversation with someone where you're like, wow, dude, that person is extremely intelligent and well put together, and I want to be around them more? Well, that didn't just happen by accident, man. I don't know anybody that functions at a high level that's incredibly intelligent that doesn't put in the work to get there. They don't, they all read books. They all listen to podcasts. They all listen to, speeches by college professors that are incredibly impactful, right? People that are well-studied, that are, high-level intelligence themselves. One of the things that I've shared with you guys before, but starting to study your mentors, like who are the people that we're feeding into them? And eventually that leads you to places, that are sometimes thousands of years ago, right? Where you're learning lessons from people. I'm talking about some of that stuff this week on the top contractor side of things, top contractor school side of things. We are, looking at studying things that happened thousands of years ago and how to apply them to this organization to better the people's lives that are part of it. And it all comes down to, guys, what is the information that you're putting into your head? What is the information that you're consuming? Who are the people that you're talking to, and what are they sharing? Are they elevating you, or are they taking the wind out of your sails? Are they offering you valuable information, or are they repeating things that they're not even sure are true? So when you think about that, protect that asset, protect the space between your ears, because it is so important. And the more you protect it and the more time you have to work that out, actually exercise your brain, the faster you're going to reach every level of life that you've wanted to reach. I am living proof of it, and so now I'm looking, and I've got people around me that are telling me like, hey, if you do more of this, it's going to go faster. It's going to, you're going to create more success. And that's super important to me. Right. And I realize how true that is from previous experience every time that I've taken the time to go do that. And so I want that for you guys, right? I want you to realize how valuable that is, to realize the time that you invest into yourself, into your own development. It couldn't be more important for you to make that time. And it is, without a doubt, it will become everything you ever wanted in your life will happen as a result of you taking the time to work out your brain. It is the biggest asset that you have, but your ability to impact that asset, to actually work out your brain and become more intelligent, know more things, read more books, consume more information that's extremely valuable. Your ability to do that is in your hands every single day. And so as you go into this Friday, as you go into this weekend, I want you guys to think about that. Think about how you're doing it today and elevate your ability, your commitment to read, to work out your brain, to be conscious about moving forward in a positive direction, in a productive direction, right? Because we are all way more in control of this than we think. And, if you're upset about something that's going on in the world, try to understand it. Read both sides of it, right? Read about how, the other side that you may not agree with, how do they see it? And that will help you become a more well-rounded person. It will help you become a more compassionate person. It will help you in every aspect of life. And so I encourage you guys to think about that and recommit to yourself the knowledge that you are going to go out and grab, so that you can have it yourself and you can share it with other people. I hope this message was helpful for you guys. It is Friday, as we always say here on Morning Perspective, man. Don't go out like a mouse. Don't be that person that's blowing the whistle at noon and heading home today. You have the ability to play to the whistle today, and playing to the whistle today, those 3-4 hours that you put in more than somebody else, is what actually separates you from the competition. So go out like a lion. Don't go out like a mouse. Happy Friday to you guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you Monday morning, 8 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.